This is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Today I have a very special treat for you. What I'm going to do today is share with you how I eat when I'm traveling or on vacation. Well, I don't know if I ever get into vacation. I'm always doing something fun. But nonetheless, I'm going to share with you what I eat when I travel. Now, I have other videos on YouTube explaining how to travel and stay raw, including how to make recipes in your hotel room, how to get the best hotel room, how to travel on the plane. But this one is once you get to the place that you're staying at, how to get the best food possible and what I eat when I'm traveling. So if you can see here, this is basically what I have to eat, and you can see this is basically what I would eat if I was at home. Now at home, I might not eat all these tropical fruits, and I'd probably focus on more greens because that's actually what I have fresh. But when I travel, I focus on eating the same way I do at home. I mean, why eat any different? I mean, you might be thinking, hey John, it probably takes a lot of time to source all your food because guess what? This was hand-picked by me at the farm just yesterday, as were these guys here. I picked that one, I picked these. Let's see, what else did I pick? I picked the tomatoes, the peppers, and the other items were actually purchased usually direct from the farmer, either at their farm location or the farmer's market. So I guess before I go any further, let me go ahead and introduce the different foods that I have. I am here in West Palm Beach in January. So, food availability is going to always vary, and one of the things I highly encourage you to do is eat seasonally wherever you are. So when you're eating seasonally, hopefully you're eating a lot of locally produced items that are in season, but sometimes, I'll eat things that are in season in other parts of the world as well. So first over here we have what's called the black sapote. Some people call this the chocolate persimmon only because this is in the persimmon family, but it tastes nothing like a persimmon. These guys have to be like soft like an avocado to eat them, and they're just black and mushy inside. They're not super sweet, but they have a nice flavor if you actually blend it up or make a pudding with dates or something like that. So black sapote, chocolate persimmon. I definitely harvested these guys right here. I had a whole case of papayas. This is the last one. I do have a video on my Growing Your Greens channel where I actually visit the farm and share that experience with you. Right here we have the greens that I picked actually from the farm themselves. All kinds of delicious greens. Now greens should be an essential part of your living and raw foods diet, and a larger part than you may think. You always want to try to focus on the greens because it's easy to eat fruit, but most people neglect to eat as many greens as they should be. So this is a nice head of butter lettuce. Also have like baby parsley, and I have some turnips, and oh man, I want to show you guys this one right here. Where is it? So this is what I want to show you guys right here. This is watercress. This is one of the most nutrient dense foods on the planet. Now this was grown hydroponically still with the roots, and this is still alive, and you can just bite into it and eat it. Now watercress is often sold in a local health food store, and it's also usually hydroponically grown. So the other thing that you're going to notice when I'm showing you what I'm eating is I'm eating a wide variety. I'm not just eating 30 bananas today and some romaine lettuce today when I travel. No, look at the variety and the variety of different shapes, sizes, and colors of foods. And I want to once again encourage you guys to eat your foods. The color, so good. I don't discriminate. So let's see, that's the greens. All kinds of cool stuff. Here's some like little celery, baby celery. This is going to get juiced up into a juice. Even got things like some special red turnips over here. Small little red turnips. So that's going to be definitely good. And you could also use the turnip greens. So a lot of this stuff is probably going to get juiced up today. Let's see, moving over the table, we got some cucumbers. So these are bought at the farm. It's a you-pick farm, but they had already picked them because they had actually just pulled out their cucumber plants because it was getting too cold here. Also, I got these strawberries that were from the farmer's market, but I did visit the farm that these were harvested from, but I didn't have time to pick them. Wow. And they smell, and actually they tasted amazing. I bought a half flat for 10 bucks, organic, and I ate everything but two because that was a meal for one day. Also got some tangerines. These are Florida grown, also from the farmer's market, and I'll hopefully be making another recipe with these guys to show you guys like a standard meal when I travel. In addition, I went to a local produce market to source produce, and I got this guy right here. This is a Dominican avocado. These things are huge, and they're nice and delicious. Moving right along, we got these guys. You're like, John, I didn't know you eat potatoes on a raw foods diet. Well, actually, you know, it's very rare that I eat a potato. I don't encourage you to eat them raw. But what these guys are not potatoes. These guys are called Chico Sapotes, also called Sapodilla, also called brown sugar fruits. And let's see if I have a ripe one here. Oh yeah, this guy's ripe here. So I'll show you guys what this looks like. Usually I like to take my nails and open it up, and you'll see a little seed in here. And the Sapodilla, it's called Sapodilla. The first word of Sapodilla is sap, because what happens is the little white things in here is actually the sap that makes the chocolate gum, or gum. And inside here you see it's nice and brown, and then usually what I do is I usually cut it off or break it up into little quarters, and then I'll easily be able to take the pieces off and eat it just like that. It has like a little grainy texture, kind of like pears a little bit, but it tastes as sweet as sugar, as brown sugar if you get a good one. One of my favorites for sure. Moving right along, some of these tomatoes. These were actually harvested at a U-Pick farm. And then this guy was actually given to me from the farmer's market when I bought some strawberries and the citrus. So that was, I mean, this is a heavy one. This is probably going to end up in a juice or a blender. All these tomatoes, and these are heirloom tomatoes that I actually picked myself. And once again, you want to eat foods of color, eat a variety. You know, don't just get all the pink tomatoes from the store. Source the best produce you can. And for me, that means going to the farms directly and picking them myself whenever possible. In addition, we have some peppers. These peppers look amazing. I picked these myself just yesterday. Can't be any fresher than this. And oh man, I gotta put the props out to these guys. These guys are small little peppers. They're in different colors, you know, red, yellow, and orange. And these are actually from Swank Specialty Produce. These are the sweetest peppers, little small peppers I've tasted, bar none, aside from the ones I grew myself. So I may be biased in that respect. But these guys are so sweet and incredible, I should have got more of them. So if you live here in South Florida or visiting, you want to be sure to source some of your produce from Swank Specialty Produce. They show up at the West Palm Beach Farmers Market on Saturday mornings, also called the Green Market here in town. That's their tomatoes also. And before I got to pick a lot of my own tomatoes, I was at a produce stand, and they had these guys, just organic Pero Farms family tomatoes from Delray Beach, Florida. So these are local, but they are purchased at a store. Now, you know, when you do purchase even organics at a store, they're not going to be as fresh as going out to the farm and picking them yourself. And when tomatoes especially have been refrigerated, guess what? They lose flavor, and there's also a drop in nutrition. So you want to pick things and eat it as fresh as possible. Of course, no trip to South Florida would be complete without bananas. I normally gag on even organic and fair trade bananas and usually just don't buy them unless there's nothing else to eat. In my opinion, bananas are an excellent source of calories, but a poor source of nutrition. It is not quite as nutrient dense as, say, something like strawberries. And strawberries to me are much more interesting, except if I'm in South Florida, and I get a special variety of bananas that you can't find anywhere else. This is a special Thai variety banana. And there's about 22, 23 bananas here, you know, and in this day, I'll almost eat 30 bananas a day because they're nice, quiet, and small, and these have flavor that you can't even imagine. I mean, unlike the ones they pick, you know, green and then ship it in the States, those things, to me, taste like cardboard. Don't do it, and I'm not going to tell you again. Next, we have some, my favorite food, is the coconut. So we got some coconuts here. These babies are South Florida grown, nice and fresh, and these guys were only 99 cents each. So this is by far my favorite coconut over the Thai coconuts and over the Mexican coconuts. So I encourage you to get the coconuts in the husk, green, like this, whenever you can. Normally it's only if you come to a place where they actually grow. Oh, and finally we got the last thing for you. This guy's one of my favorites. This is called the egg fruit, or canistel. I also hope to make a video on how to prepare these and make a nice canistel or egg fruit pudding in an upcoming episode, so stay tuned for that. These guys are like nice, rich, and thick and creamy, kind of like the consistency of an avocado and a banana, but kind of sweet. It has its own unique flavor. This tree is related to the lucuma tree, so they have similar textures if you've ever tasted lucuma fresh, but that's actually more rare than the egg fruit. So once again, I eat what's in season. I visited the farmer directly and purchased these from them, and I was happy to do so. because I don't get some of these foods in California. Whenever I travel, I go out of my way to purchase foods that I can't eat at home so that I can vary and have the widest variety of foods, which means the widest variety of nutrients for my body to select from so that it could take exactly what it needs and just get rid of the rest, literally. So a few of the things that you may have noticed is that when I'm traveling, I eat a wide variety of foods and I source the best quality foods possible. So how do I source the best quality foods while saving the most money? Well, it's very simple. My research starts before I even leave my place. Before I go on a trip, I get online. Google is your best friend. So you want to Google like farmers markets in the area you're coming to. So farmers markets, West Palm Beach, and you'll find the farmers markets. So you want to make sure you have some time and schedule some time for the farmers markets. Number two, you want to check something like meetup.com, and you can check the meetup groups if there's any in your area where they have raw foodists. Oftentimes I'll drop in on a local meetup group and meet other raw foodists from this area and ask them where to shop and where to get the best food. Another resource I had this trip that I didn't mention is actually I had friends that had gardens. So many nights that actually pick food out of their garden, pick it and then eat it fresh. I mean, that is my favorite food to eat, fresh out of home gardens. Number three, another really good source for food is a website called localharvest.org, and that website lists farms that will sell to you directly. So I checked on that website, and actually that's where I found the papayas and the place that sells papayas, so I got the papayas directly from them. You could also check Craigslist. In some parts of the country, people sell, their backyard fruit on Craigslist, and most of the time they're actually really good deals, and actually they're nice people too. So that can help you out as well. Another thing that can be helpful is find local produce stores in the area. So I went to a produce store in the area, C&D, where I got some of the produce to fill in before I actually got to go to the farms and places like that. And I also went to the local health food stores, which you can look up online before you get to where you're going. So I have what I call a pecking order. So my pecking order for obtaining food when I travel is, first I'd like to visit gardens and farms and pick it myself. That's not possible. Then I'd like to visit farms and just buy it from their farm stand. That's not possible. Then I like to go to farmers markets and buy it direct from them at the farmers markets. And after that, I'll hit the health food stores and the produce markets. So there's a hierarchy of the different, places I go to get the food, and that's because food is important. I mean, you are what you eat and absorb, and I don't want to eat just McDonald's food because I'm not going to be feeling well. Oh, and I do have to mention, last night I did go out to dinner at a raw food restaurant, which you may want to consider. But most of the time when I eat at raw food restaurants, I don't quite feel that well the next day because the raw food restaurants are more for people in transition versus somebody that's been living a raw and living foods lifestyle for the last 17 years like I have. So I tend to eat a lot simpler. Although the restaurant review is probably up by now, you could check it out. It's called the Nuage Cafe. I liked it a lot. The owner is very innovative, and I gave him a lot of suggestions to only improve his restaurant. That's only been open actually 3 weeks, so I think he's doing a great job for just being open 3 weeks. You may be thinking, hey John, doesn't it take a lot of time to go around and go to the farms and go to the farmers market and get your food? Well, absolutely, but you know what? That is the fun of traveling. When you travel, you get to expand your brain. You get to learn new things, where to get food in that area of the country or that area of the world, and you get to have an experience. I mean, life is an experience, and I would encourage you to experience as much of it as you possibly can, because it's just so fun to travel and see new things. Maybe if you don't want to do all this stuff, you could just go to the local health food store, but remember, you're really far down on the pecking order, based on, in my opinion, what's absolutely best. Of course, another thing that'd be really good if you brought seeds in a sprout bag with you and sprouted your own foods, in your hotel or wherever you happen to be staying. So hopefully after watching this episode, you got the idea of what I eat when I travel and what I would encourage you to also eat when you travel. Hey, just eat like you're at home. Bring some utensils and different things with you so that you can do that, so you can stick with the living in raw foods lifestyle and include more fresh fruits and vegetables in your diet. Once again, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com, reminding you once again to eat your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're the best.